Hi, welcome to Living Pressure Free with Elle. They're going to talk today about prioritization, calendaring, which I use as a verb, and making stuff happen, getting things done today. So if you have a little bit of a procrastination issue, if you're a bit of a perfectionist, which can sometimes come hand in hand with procrastinating, if you compare yourself a lot to others, this little show today could be really helpful for you. So if you don't know me, I'm Elle Ingalls, creator of the Pressure Free Method, the on-the-go stress management method that helps you reduce stress, anger, and anxiety very quickly and effectively. I've been coaching this method for over 10 years, and it has transformed the lives of many, many people. It's based on science. It's based on the biology of the stress response. So that is my expertise, the fight or flight stress response. And it's I've created this method with really 30, you could say in some ways 40 years of understanding how to be a high performer. So I come to the anxiety, stress, anger issues from a very interesting viewpoint, a little different than most people. So most of the clients that work with me are high achievers. They're people who are trying to up level, but they're either afraid of the stress or burnout, or they're already experiencing some stress issues, maybe generalized anxiety disorder, panic attacks, the feeling that they're not good enough, things that are holding them back. So high achievers tend to be the people who like to work with me. Maybe it's a health issue too, a chronic health issue that's going down, and that's why they want to come. So we're going to focus for a moment on getting things done and prioritizing. Prioritizing and calendaring are two things that I do to really help me achieve a lot in a day. And one of the things that I think is so important, and it takes some practice to do it, is to keep really adjusting what's the most important thing to do first. So a lot of times we'll do the things that are easy, and then we get to the end of our day and it's like the biggest thing is not done yet, and that's the thing we need to dig into and really do. So when you look at your day, when you are starting your work day, ask yourself, what is the one thing? And if you've read the book The One Thing by Gary Keller and his partner, then you know that it can be so effective to start to ask yourself, like, what's the one thing if I do that first? That's moving again into the 80-20 rule that I teach with all my clients, that rule. What's the 20% if I do that, the 80% of results will happen. So, but what's the one thing that if you complete it in this day, you will feel that you've accomplished something? Another little thing that I do with my clients is I say, okay, what can you get done in 10 minutes? Sometimes we will look at a task and think, oh gosh, this task is going to take me 3 hours and it's just too hard, and we become overwhelmed. I started doing this with my violin students, who tend to be those high achievers doing sports, music, and high-level academicians. So I would say to them, if you just practice this one scale for 10 minutes every single day this week, will you be a better violinist by the end of the week? The answer is yes. It's like, what's one thing that if you did, or one thing you could do for 10 minutes, that's either going to begin a project for you, so maybe you'll gain momentum and you'll stay in it longer, or at least you'll accomplish like the first task required for that project to get started, so that you don't feel overwhelmed and start procrastinating even getting to the project. So this little 10-minute rule has helped so many of my clients kind of get off their butts and get going into something that was just, they were stalled out on. And we do get stalled out on things. So a lot of times it's like people doing their taxes or stuff like that. You just put it off and put it off. So it's like, okay, what can I do in 10 minutes? Well, I could organize all my papers. That's the first step. So if you can gain a little feeling like, oh, I just accomplished something, that fuels us. Oh, thank you for the love and likes. Sometimes I feel like I'm all alone here. So that fuels you to start doing the next thing and the next thing. It gives you that momentum, which is why I always teach this celebration Ferris wheel as my first starter tool for my clients and for any groups that I work with, because the purpose of it is to celebrate incremental gains. If you can celebrate that you've got a little bit done that can fuel you to the next thing. It can be very daunting. Some of our projects can be so daunting and never ending. I see some artists on here, when you're a musician or an artist, the project is never done. You can work on a particular project for the rest of your life and still never feel like you've accomplished it or finished it. And so celebrating those little bit of gains, like, oh, I just played that passage really well, or I just got that color just right, or whatever that is. It's the same thing in people's work projects. When I ran the symphony in Battle Creek, the number of projects I could have started for that community was endless. I had to pick and choose. I had to prioritize. And I had to get started on them, or they would have never even transpired. So that first getting an idea of the one thing, and then next, what can you do in 10 minutes to get something started? Build momentum. Then your calendar can be your best friend. Some people avoid calendars. I personally I have a written planner. I don't have it in this room right now, sorry, but I have a written planner. And that is like really important for me to write down things and see them in black and white. So I do use a written planner, as well as I have the electronic phone, of course, telling me about things too. But my written planner is really the most important time management tool that I have. And I go in and out of doing this. So right now, one of my accountability partners is holding me to it. But putting in the blocks of time when I'm going to be accomplishing certain things in my day, that has been an incredible way, especially as an entrepreneur, to stay on track. But even no matter what you do within your work schedule, it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to accomplish first, and I'm going to do it from 9 a.m. to 10:30 or whatever your time block is. So you start really getting an idea of how long it takes you to do things, but also you start to set these little parameters. I also really encourage you to be flexible about it. So let's say you have this time block, but then a meeting came in. You can move that time block here. You can move it over here. Maybe it's going to be on Thursday instead of Tuesday. Feel free, build some flexibility in so you don't feel tension. Tension with the calendar system does not work. It's going to cause you to trigger your stress hormones, and now it feels like you can't do anything. So you really want to have that beauty of the flexibility of moving your time blocks around. And so I use that word as a verb, calendaring. I calendar my activities, my work, my play, so that I really have a real good concept about where I'm headed, what I'm trying to do. And so if you build this in a little bit, it will help you build that momentum to get things done. And today I want to share a tip that my accountability partner, Tim Femosh, said to me. He said, also, like, if you forgot to calendar, you can go in on that day and say, okay, I did this and I did this and I did this. Sometimes just seeing our progress, like what did we actually do today, can be really helpful. So you can use these concepts for pretty much anything you wish to achieve in your life. I'm building a business. I'm helping people. Maybe you have an athletic goal. Maybe you have a weight loss goal. Maybe you have a particular work project that's like really big and exciting and you really want to tackle it. So what's the one thing you need to do first thing on every single day? What can you get started in 10-minute little blocks so that you don't procrastinate, you get little things going? And then how can you use a calendar to help you stay on track? So at Pressure Free, we don't just show you how to use the Pressure Free method and de-stress you. I help you learn how to start crafting your life. It's something I've been doing since I was 18. If you look back at some of my goal journals, it's kind of amazing what has transpired just because I wrote it down. So I have all these 3-step methods and simple ways to help you start crafting the life of your dreams, because I believe that you deserve to have a very fulfilling life, that you deserve to have a beautiful life. No matter what is transpiring, where you are right now, every moment is a new page. And that's kind of, it's like the mission of Pressure Free is to help you have a beautiful life. You got to get rid of the stress hormones first. Those little buggers will mess everything up. So hope you have a great Pressure Free evening, and we'll see you soon. Bye.